the thing that I worry about with the referendum is that we're going to go to the vote, would you say October the 14th?
Yeah, that's mine.
We get to October the 17th, and there's still people in Alice Springs, involved in domestic violence and overuse of alcohol, and kids are roaming the streets. I mean, if someone, including Linda here, could convince me that voting yes on the 14th of October would change those people's lives, I might even think about it, but I don't believe it will.
Steve, the Australian has done incredible reporting for a very long time on this issue, and can I also point out, as has Sky News' Matt Cunningham,
outstanding.
His reporting has been instrumental on this whole issue. He knows the issues in Northern Territory better than most journalists in this country, not the fly-in, fly-out ones that just go for a headline and then get out of there. But, Steve, I just think the whole issue, Australians are concerned about this. I think a lot of people don't understand what it is. And I think the whole issue with the corporates, for instance, Qantas flying around yes campaigners, councillors in Sydney putting up yes campaigners. Now it's coming down to your political views. If you have political views that go a certain way and are in favour of this, you're getting rewarded with free accommodation, free corporate space, free flights. If you're a no campaigner, you're getting nothing. I think that's fundamentally wrong. And I think the corporates are going to have egg on their face through this because they've backed this in well and truly. And if this fails, I think that is a big up yours from the majority of Australians. But let's see what happens.
Linda, haven't you and your mate Clover given the Yes campaign a free office in Town Hall?
Steve, as you know, we are fierce opponents and actually run against each other now in many elections.
Term.
But I certainly did move a motion at the City of Sydney to call on us to support the Yes campaign, and I also asked the council to support, find ways which we could support promoting that, because overwhelmingly...
And go to the free office space. Are you giving office space to the No campaign?
That's yet to be decided. We've got a motion on that tomorrow night.
Oh, come on.
And
you're seriously suggesting to me that your Sydney City Council is going to give office space to the No campaign as well?
So I'm certainly going to vote in favour of that proposal tomorrow night.
Hello.
But we have had, for example, all the Queensland mayors, when this proposal was first discussed, come out and support the Yes proposition. There's been now one or two who've taken that back, but they're at the early stages. Every single Queensland mayor came out and supported the Yes campaign. So I really do want to challenge the view that this is a metropolitan thing. We've seen huge numbers of councils right across the country, regional, remote, Sydney, but in other capital cities as well, passing resolutions to support the Yes campaign and advocating for their communities. As you know, the president of the Local Government Association.
In every state, bar Victoria and Tasmania, saying that this will fail.
Well, councils have really been talking about this with our communities and the difference that it would make. And as you know, councils are closest to our communities. We are often
pick up my bin.
The only... Well, that's important too, and I've advocated for the city to do that on better too. But we're often the only form of government in regional and remote areas, as I know Gary knows so well. And we hear from our communities about what works. And many of those regional communities are hearing from their Indigenous populations and indeed Indigenous mayors. We had the Mayor of Torres Strait speaking to us at our conference about the importance of this to his community. We hear Matt Ryan in the Territory
there's a local government election
in
March in Brisbane and indeed all through Queensland. So any Queensland mayor that thinks this is a great idea after the referendum fails, they should take it to the people and say, vote for us, and we're going to set up some sort of council-costed, ratepayer paid for, separate mechanism. But the difference still, Steve, is councils can have a view, no harm done to the Constitution. You start enshrining this into the Constitution, the great experiment with a document that's lasted the test of time. I think this is a very, very dangerous situation. And to actually put a schism based around race into the Constitution when really the demand is do better for vulnerable people in remote Australia, whether they be black or whether they be not black. This should not be having a racial qualifier attached to the fact that people in remote and regional Australia need further help.